Let me see right here. We should know in a hot second. Yeah, we started now. We on. And let me do the intro. Who Bangin Sports Talk. What up, though? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. What up, though? Look like my little picture done got a little bent out of shape. What up, though? Look like my little picture done got a little bent out of shape. Let me see how we looking on the screen. Okay. We lost some stuff. Here we go. What's up, Big Ragoo? How you doing?
Hey, big man, what's going on tonight? Ready to break down these races with you, my man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what time it is today.
How's it out in L.A., La La Land?
La La Land. How's it going out there? What the weather is out there today?
It's hot. It's about 90 today. No rain, but it's just been hot, you know.
Oh, yeah?
And hopefully we can translate some of this heat into hot picks.
That's what it is going to do. That's what we need right now. Okay, we all up now. We got our Preakness screen up right here. Got the new look right here. I can't see the chat right now. Is they saying anything in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Give me some time.
I just put a little comment in there. I said, this is my first time I'm putting my voice in the chat while I'm online. I said, we won't be long. We got some computer stuff going on. The horses sleeping while we work.
For real. There we go. Now we looking all right, Big Ragoo. We ready to go.
Now with that new link cut out.
I'm sure they'll come join us in a while. So we also doing while we right here, we doing sort of a small review on some of these spots that we use to get some of our information from horse racing. Now, I'm not as true of a horse racer fan like you and Jimmy. I kind of jump in and jump out. So these tools are really helpful for me because I didn't see the last couple races and all that good stuff like you guys. But one that I found, I'm gonna go to the one that I found because I've been through it first. One that I found that was pretty good was this one right here. This is Horse Racing Nation. Are you familiar with that one?
Yeah, I'm familiar with them. They're out of Kentucky, the Lexington area. Yeah, that's a good group. They're a lot of good, valuable stuff over there. You know, they got videos and stuff like that, and there's other stuff there too. But yeah, that's a good site, real good site. They're more in tune with the player side as far as putting out info, like a couple of days before the races. And they sell product too, just like the Racing Forum and Brisnet. They got their own version of stuff, but they incorporate a lot of other stuff in their stuff too. So it's a lot of opinions, and it's a lot of statistical information too.
Yeah.
Put in there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna crack it open right here. This is a sort of a small review of a show, and of course we're gonna go over the races. Let me jump right into this. So this nice website they got right here is laid out pretty solid. Right here, they had a link right here straight to the Preakness Stakes contenders. When you go down this link right here, you can get the post time, the date, the distance of this race. Always, many of you novice horse bettors or y'all that's just here for the Preakness or wherever you at, a lot of the OGs, they know, all the terminologies and stuff, but yeah, the Preakness is a little further distance than the Kentucky Derby. We're going 1 mile and 3/16 on this one. These are young horses that's getting the grip. In the season, they've already planted a seed in the season, and now they're in this final little get down. Sort of like not really like a championship, sort of like a championship, huh, Big Ragu? Would you consider the Triple Crown like a
Yeah,
championship?
the Triple Crown. The Triple Crown is a series of three races. It starts with the Kentucky Derby. They consider that the crown jewel, the top crown jewel, and then get things kicked off. That's the premier race. And then after 2 weeks after the Derby finishes up, they run the Preakness race, the Preakness Stakes, it's called, and that's in Baltimore, Maryland. And usually what happens there is, the Derby winner, most times, it's only happened like 2 or 3 times I know of in recent memory that the horse that has won the Derby has not shown up for the Preakness. So it's what they call the second race of the Triple Crown race. And then from there they go to Belmont, New York, 3 weeks from Saturday. And hopefully, if you win all three races, then you're the Triple Crown champ. That was an elusive feat for about 40 years up until American Pharaoh did it a couple of years back, and then Justify last year.
Yeah, I think we definitely not looking at a Triple Crown winner, obviously, but gonna be an interesting race right here. And in the Preakness, the favorite wins a lot. They got some long shots here and there. It's a smaller field. Narrowed it down from 21 horses in the last race down to 13 right here. Do you see any of these horses scratching?
No, I don't see any of these horses scratching because the horses that, like I said, usually the Derby winner, it'll come out of Derby, be the favorite in this race, but we don't have that this year. So we do have 4 horses that did run in the Derby that are running the race. And probably the most notable one would be, or two would be Improbable and Warofwill. Improbable is a 4 horse, and Warofwill is a 1 horse. And then we have 2 other horses that are not going to be such a shorter price as those two. Like I think Warofwill is like 4-1, and I think Improbable is like 5-2. So you'll probably see Improbable get bet down. They'll take a little bit of money because of the fact that it's Bob Baffert and Mike Smith. So he'll probably go off around, probably maybe 3-1, or maybe even 3-2 possibly, for $5, or maybe $5 or $6, and then Will probably be right where he's at, around 4-1. But then you have bodexpress, who's going to go off as a long shot. I think he's like around 20-1, and a horse that I'm kind of favoring a little bit, winwinwin, and the 13 hole is going off at 15-1. So those are your 4 previous run Derby horses, and all the rest of the horses coming in, they're all brand new shooters. They're all what they call new shooters, horses that didn't run in the Derby and that are rested. Some horses are better than others, obviously, but every one of them has a chance. The race is a wide open race, so it's anybody's race, and just depending on how the horse is set up for the run around the track, it's going to dictate. The pace is going to dictate the race. So
yeah, so I'm gonna look at the first 3 horses on this website right here. Let me see. I'm gonna go look about the first 3 horses on this one. So on this Preakness right here, on this horse racing nation right here, you got Warwheel. You can click on the horse name right here. It'll send you over, and you'll get a more in-depth view of that horse over here. It'll give you the owners, the trainers, the breed, the pedigree, and the rating. But one of the exciting things that I like from this website that they have right here is that they have the pedigree, the siblings, and all this stuff right here for you to see. And this a lot of real cappers on horse racing. This means a lot right here, especially if you've been riding away for a long time, like you may have seen um, Danzing. I've seen Danzing run before. That's a sibling of this horse that's up. Gives you kind of an idea of what the horse can do. You scroll down a little more right here. It gives their last races right here. And this was something interesting that I seen about Will right here, Big Ragu. I wanted to ask you this too. So if you look right here where it has the race results and performances right here, down here on
yeah,
11-24-18, Warowwill had a race over here. He placed first, which is awesome. Um, nobody real notably was in the race. Next race first, next race first. But then here in 2019 in March, Louisiana Derby placed ninth, and that was at 1 1/8 of a mile. And then again in the
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby, placed seventh on this one. Do you see this horse
Yeah.
kind of taking steps backwards right here?
Well, you have to look. You have to look at a couple things on that. What you said about when he ran as a 2-year-old on 11-24. You said
Mm-hmm.
originally, right? That was his. That's when he broke his. I think that's when he broke his maiden. When you break a maiden in horse racing, they call it breaking a maiden. That's when you win your first race. You break your maiden. It's like popping your cherry, so to speak. Like it's the first time. It's the first time you got your win. It's like your first time out with a girl. Same thing in horse racing. And once you win that first race, some horses do it what they call the first time out, like their very first race in their career. It depends on the trainers how hard they push them. Certain trainers have different tendencies. But anyways, with this particular horse, Cassie, he's not he's not one to really push a horse the first time out of the gate. Now the interesting thing about this horse, he was a turf horse, okay? So his first 4 races he ran on grass, and he didn't win any of the races on grass. He ran 4 times. He came second, third, second, fourth, and fifth. So what they did, they gave the horse a little bit of a break after he ran on turf for about 3 weeks, and then they put him on dirt for the first time, and he won. So then they said, hey, maybe we have something here. So then they gave him a little bit of a layoff. That was as a 2-year-old. Then when January came, he ran in November. He ran out in January, put him back on dirt, and he won again down at Fairgrounds. Then he won again. Then he won again. So he won a grade 3, a grade 2, and then when he ran in the Louisiana Derby, that's when he laid the egg. He came ninth, like you said. So there could be a little regression there with him. I mean, normally what happens with horses after they have what they call a layoff, and in the horse business, a layoff is anytime you don't run more than 30 days. So if you're off, if you haven't ran in 30 days in horse racing, they consider that a layoff. An optimum running style for a horse, ideally a horse runs like every 3 to 4 weeks. Some horses run on average about once a month, let's say. So if you don't run within that month period of time, they consider that a layoff, and that's not a good look for a lot of horses. But some horses, more than not, it does bother them for the training aspect. So to answer your question, when a horse has a layoff, usually the optimum race is the 3rd race back. That's when it's in peak power. And for that horse, when he ran ninth after his 3rd race after the layoff, he won his first time out. He won the next time out. So he's supposed to get stronger. The 3rd race is when he's supposed to run his best race. And he laid an egg. He ran ninth. So they were giving him excuses. They were saying that the track, maybe the conditions weren't perfect for him that particular day, the speed of the race. So, anyways, he had a tough time of it. And then when he went to the Derby, he got up in the slop in the 1 hole, and he didn't run a bad race in the Derby. He got tangled up with maximum security, and he finished up 7th by disqualification. He crossed 8th, but they moved him to 7th. So he did run a pretty good race in the Derby. That's why Jimmy was kind of high on him earlier in the week, when he started talking about the horses. He really liked Warowwill a lot because he looked at the race and he thought he had a pretty solid race, even though he got tangled up with maximum security. He's analyzing the race. I know Jimmy had maximum security to win the race. A lot of us did. I had Tacticus and maximum security exacta, but yeah. So, anyways, he's a nice horse. He's won like 3 out of the 4 times prior to the Derby on dirt, and now he doesn't have as much competition in this race. He's probably his biggest competition is going to be Improbable and some of the new shooters.
I tell you what, BIGRAGOO, since this I just want to show a little bit of this website right here. So they do have a little video footage of him right here. This is when he plays first in the Raisin Star. This is a grade 2 race right
Yeah,
here. Let's see.
that was his second time.
And your
That was
boy
his second
Country
time
House
off
was in this race.
in that race there.
Yeah, let's
Let
take
me
a look
see.
at it. I'm gonna go ahead and
Tell you
play the footage right here. See if we can play this on here for the people.
Yeah, Country House was in that race. He came second to him. Country House
Yeah.
was the second place in that race. That's how Country House got in the Derby, because he came in second place in that race in the Risen Star. He had enough points for the second place finish. That's why he was such a long shot, because he didn't have a lot of points. You know, he probably like 14, 15 points, and that's why he snuck in there. Country House snuck in on that Risen Star race. And then you know what happened, and the rest is history.
Right. But that, no knock to Country Horse, Country House. Country House is developing into a nice horse. What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
I seen him. The race he ran was a really good race. Even though all the shenanigans, but it was a really good race. So I kind of, but to tell you the truth, I was betting the outsides on that race, and I had threw Country House out. I just didn't see his makeup as being the right grade for that group. I felt like the between the owners and the trainers and stuff, the money wasn't long enough. Like it was a whiff if they was gonna win this one, and look what happened. They actually did do that.
Yeah, you want to hear funny? I was in Vegas when they ran that race. I was in I think no, was I in Vegas?
Okay, here
no,
we go. Here come the turn right here. I don't like watching none of the race but the turn. This is when the action gets going. Yeah. So let's see him come out the turn. He was basically ahead of the pack on this one by a lot. Look at that Country Horse. He's wobbling a little bit, but that Country Horse is fast.
Hey, you can make that bigger when you put it on the screen like that and scroll it down and hit the little button.
I can't make it bigger, but it's going to throw it off with the sizing. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
But yeah, that's a good look at Warofwill. I like Warofwill. I like Warfront. I like a little bit of his breed. Definitely a horse you might want to throw in your exotics. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh?
I got him in the exotics.
Yeah, you
for
definitely
sure.
got to throw him in the exotics. So let's move to the next one. We got some people in the chat too. Dennis Garcia.
Oh, Denny's there. Hey, Denny, what's
Ozzy in there. I'm glad y'all can join us, man. This is the real deal right here. We just getting off our feet, but they don't know we the real deal right here, Big Ragoo. We taking our time out to chop this up and go through it with the people. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna go to the window and bet whatever they want by themselves. But hey, just you can say after this one that you sat down with us and had a good time and went over this pretty thoroughly here. So let's go into Bourbon War. We was talking about Bourbon War a little earlier. The public's jumping all over Bourbon War, right?
Yeah. Bourbon War opened up at 12-1 morning line odds. And he's probably the wise guy horse. Everybody jumped on him early. A lot of money's coming in. So he's at a Tappet. Tappet is a great horse. We've always had our issues with Tappets in the Derby, but I mean they're bred very nice. Artie Schiller is the grandfather on the dam side, which he's more of a turf horse, but I mean he's got a lot of distance in him right there. So he's got to go up and get with the dam side. So it's a nice horse. I mean he got a shitty pace in the Florida Derby. Otherwise he might have been. He got to the Kentucky Derby, but I mean he won his allowance, and then he came a strong second behind Code of Honor in the Fountain of Youth, and then the Derby. He didn't get enough points to get to the Derby, unfortunately. But he's a nice horse. He's a dead closer, so he's going to need a little pace to run into to help his cause. And he might just get it because I think we're going to get some decent pace in the Preakness.
And you got to mind here too that he's a 3-year-old too, so he's kind of well seasoned. But I agree with you. I like a little bit of the breed here. I like Tap It. You see back here Malibu Moon, that's a good one in there. I see Hidden Light, that's a good one in there. El Parado, that's a good one. Pretty decent. He's coming out of Conquest Stables. So he's got a little money behind him. These people are not shy of the industry. So all that applies. But let's take a look at his trips out. Now he's a little impressive to me, right? Right here. Let's see. Let's go back to November real quick. In Aqueducts in the 1 mile first. Next race, fourth. Comes back on the first January 2019, first. Right? And then he goes over here. He took a big layoff right there from the 18th of January over to March 2nd. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying because he. Remember, I was telling you how trainers like to take certain trainers like to push their horses early and some late. Like Mark Henning, his trainer, he's a pretty aggressive trainer. And the very first time he ran an Aqueduct in November, he ran in the slop on an off track and he won. So. And then he went down to then he came back to Aqueduct and ran at the Remsen, the Grade 2 in December, 2-year-old race, and then he came fourth, and then he came off a little bit of a layoff in Gulfstream and won, and then came second in the Fountain of Youth. So yeah, he's had a couple of layoffs in the short. He's had 5 races, and he's coming off another layoff actually to run in this race because he hasn't ran since he ran in Gulfstream Park back in the middle part of March. So it's been over a month. It's almost close to 2 months now. That's considered a layoff. And the trainer, he's about a 14% trainer off a layoff, but he comes out 40% in the exotic. So that's a pretty good strong. That's a pretty strong number.
I mean, you definitely can't count this guy out. He's raced against Code of Honor, Vacoma. He's raced against some nice piece of works. Maximum Security in the Florida Derby there. This guy is ready to go. Bourbon War. I think that was one of your picks in some race back, huh? BIGRAGOO?
Yeah. I had him. Jimmy had him. Jimmy loved him in the Fountain of Youth. He just came up a little bit short. And then I had him in the Florida Derby, but we had such a shitty pace in the Florida Derby. I had Hidden Scroll and Bourbon War and Exactas, and then Hidden Scroll never ran. They just let Maximum Security run on his own, and we know the story about Maximum Security.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go to the tape.
I really like these horses that came from, not because I live in Florida and and I favor Florida horses, but I think the crop of horses that came out of those couple races down there were really nice horses, and we only got to show off one of them in the Derby. It's a shame because Code of Honor, he ran a hell of a. You see what Code of Honor did in the Derby, right? He almost. He was right. You know what I mean? He came in second. So he ran a hell of a race, and Bourbon War, I think he's sitting on a nice race too. So all the horses that came out of his race had run decent their next race out. So guess what? He hadn't run his next race, so he's sitting on the race. He's probably ready to go. That's why he's 5-1.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be the one. Let's see how he takes the turn on this one. This particular day he comes in second. That's the Fountain of Youth that we was talking about. But let's take a look at him, man. I kind of like this horse too. After looking a little further right now, I'm liking this horse a little bit more. I could actually see this horse winning this race, especially if they end up driving the money down on it.
He's a one-trick pony. He's going to run hard at the end, so he needs a little bit of pace. That was the other thing that was impressive because even when he came to the into that Fountain of Youth, he was coming like a train, Jimmy, he just came up a little short in that race. So
Yeah, and
and,
this
and
race was
like
pretty fast too. They were doing a 45.5.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he took a nice stretch from the outside. I don't know. You give him a little more distance, he might straighten out a little bit and pull something off. He
Yeah,
might be
well,
a
that's the
better
other
horse
thing.
for the Belmont than the Preakness. What you think?
Well, you know what? The Preakness is only so I mean, it's a mile and 3/16. The Derby's a mile and a quarter. Looking at there was a mile and 16th also. So that's he's got another furlong to go. So that's race. So if anything, yeah, a mile and a half. That's a long way. That's like a marathon. But mile and 3/16, it might set up perfect for him.
Let's jump on over to Warrior's Charge. Now, I didn't know much about this horse. Like I said, I'll be totally honest. I jump around. I'm one of those horse racers that, if I happen to go out to the park with my dad, I go out there and, if I feel like it on a Sunday or something, or I do it. But a lot of times around the Triple Crown, I definitely love the Triple Crown. I play this every year basically. But this Warrior's Change, very interesting horse right here, entering this race, might be put in this either he's in there for a purpose. I say he's either in there to get the pace set up, or he might be a sleeper to come get him. This was a 3-year-old right here too, coming out of Mackett Stables, 10 Strike Racing, trainer Brad Cox. It's another one of your Florida breds, and pedigree with Munnings.
Yeah.
I don't need. What else do you see in this horse pedigree,
Well,
and why is this horse so fast?
let me tell you a little story about this horse, okay? And I found this out. I mean, I knew he had the owners of this horse. When they're early in the racing season, you can claim your horse. You can pay what they call a fee to get him into the Triple Crown, which is like $600. It's like a nominal fee that everybody in the horse business is going to pay, just to hopefully on the prayer and say, please let my horse get to the Triple Crown. They pay like their $600 and they get in. Now, certain horses, they look at the horse, they say, I'm not even going to do it. But most of the times, if they think they got a halfway decent shot, they'll pay their Triple Crown fees. But now, come race day, to get this horse, they paid $150,000 to put this horse in this race. The winner gets $900. These guys put $150,000 in to get this horse in. Now, the guy that did it, he's some kind of professor up in Tennessee. He's a horse player. He's a gambler, this guy. So he's gambling big time today to get this horse in his race. But he's got a syndicate that they pool the money. So for them to bet 150 grand and think that this horse has got a shot, maybe it was a late bloomer, because if you look at him, I mean, he's from Oakland Park. He ran in Churchill as a 2-year-old, and he's got 5 races under his belt, and he's won his last 2 out. And he finally broke his maiden at 100,000. So he had 4 attempts to run. He finally broke his maiden 2 races ago, and then he ran an allowance race last time out in Oakland Park at 99 buyer. So he's definitely not. He hasn't been laid off, but he's just started winning lately. So they must see something they like in him, and he's got 2 wins in 4 races. But he's a different class horse for sure. We'll know what he's got. I mean, he's got some speed. If you look at the speed he's got, they took him from a sprinter. That was the other thing. He was running sprint races. He wasn't doing worth of shit. And they put him in a couple distant races, and he flourished. And then what they did, they changed his whole style. He was running sprints. They were trying to keep him back a little bit, then let him go. And then they said, you know what, let's put him in the bigger race and let him go out of the gate. And boom, 2 for 2.
Yeah, I see.
Wire to wire.
It shows right here he got a pretty impressive records. No big races to mention, but pretty impressive records. A lot of other horse cappers that I know, they definitely say this is a very fast horse right here. Putting up that 150,000, that means something. Just remember, like I said, when we was watching the Debray race, Gronkowski, why is he here? Why do they pay the money to have him over here? They must know something better than us. So this is definitely one to watch. I don't think I would probably even I wouldn't really put him too far in the exotics, but I definitely put something on put something on the win at the money that he's at. What you think about this one? You
Let's
putting
put.
them in there?
I'm not going to use them as far as a win bet. I might use them in some tries, down the. Because he's definitely going to dictate the pace of the race. Now, whether he gets out to the lead, he's going to go. He's got Javier Castellano up, was a Hall of Fame jock. That's a big plus for him. And I'm surprised Javier doesn't have a different mount. So basically, he must know something about the horse too. Because I mean, Javier, as a matter of fact, today won 4 races, just for the record. So he won 4 races today at Pimlico. So he's a hot jockey going in tomorrow. And from what I understand, the track played pretty quick today down the middle of the track. So there's some definitely speed bias today down the middle part of the track. It could change tomorrow, who knows? But he's got Javier up. He's a speed horse. The track is running fast a little bit. Now, whether he's fast enough to beat these other quality horses, that's another story. So,
Hey, well, you heard it here first from the one and only BIGRAGOO live and direct. We dropping jewels right now. We're reviewing websites that you can go over and study stuff, and we going over the card right here. I'm enjoying myself right now. How about you, BIGRAGOO? You all right right now?
oh yeah. Anytime we're talking horses, I'm gonna sit here all night and talk horses. I love it. It's my second. It's my second. I say second nature, but it's my second love. I love the horses. I just love the sport of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The gambling, that's the fun part. The amazement is the animals themselves and how they move across the track, and everybody that's never been to a race should actually go to a race. I think they would enjoy it.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to show about this website before we jump over to the next one is right here. You can also click on the owners, the trainer. If you want to know more information, like about 10 strike racings right here, you click on that. It'll take you over here and it'll show you different information. You can weigh this kind of stuff however you want for edge. This is just strictly about their performance as owners or whatever. And like BIGRAGOO said, he had those stats locked in his head about the percentage of the trainer and all that good stuff, man. You gotta appreciate that, BIGRAGOO. I appreciate you having you on the show to go over this. But let's just jump to the next horse. Um, Basically, we just looking at Warriors Charge. Really, is definitely probably gonna make a mark on the pace. Now, here comes the tricky guy right here. We probably could do a show about Improbable by itself, but let's talk about Improbable right here. So Bob Baffert, I'm a Bob Baffert fan. I've made money and all this stuff he's been winning lately. The guy, Windstar Farms, China Horse Club, got all the taggings of money, 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 and all of those great things. You look at the breed on this one. You got Seattle Slew in there, AP Andy, Mr. Prospector. I mean, they didn't go cheap when they bought this horse and put this together. But what do you think about this one, BIGRAGOO?
Yeah, I mean, Bob Baffert's having a tough go at it. All his horses are quality horses. I think the situation with Santa Anita this year kind of affected. I mean, it's just that much. I mean, it's razor thin, sharp, fine line between being really, really good and really, really great. So right now, I think this horse is really, really good. Can he be really great? Sure, he can. But I mean, under the circumstances, he hasn't won a race this year as a 3-year-old. I think just the Baffert program this year has been thrown a little bit off just because of what happened in Santa Anita. That's the difference. So that's my opinion, the difference in this horse. I mean, and plus the other thing is he's got City Zip, which, I think if the race was a mile, I think this horse would probably win it hands down. I think he just flattens out like Jimmy says. Once he gets past a mile and 16th, he just starts to flatten out. So I don't think the distance helps him at all. I mean, he's a quality horse. He's going to be a factor. Can he win the race? Sure, he can. But I'm not going to use him I'll use him in exotics, but I'm not putting him on top. You know, he might get. He's definitely going to get a piece. He'll probably get maybe third, second, possibly, but I don't think he gets. I don't think he gets the distance. I think that's the biggest knock on him is going the distance. What are the guys in the chat think?
No word from the chat yet on this one, but I'd like to say I really, truthfully and honestly, in my head, I just want to really throw this horse out. I think it's like everything we have nowadays. The media is so involved. I think Bob Baffert know this ain't his year. He probably just wants to tuck his tail and go in. But they invested more money. They're doing more stuff. They're gonna build their brand more just by having the horse in the race. But I don't. I see the horse at seventh or eighth, or I don't see the horse really. It's a really thin horse, kind of fast. I would say it's more of like a West Coast ran horse. Like it would have been perfect over here on the West Coast to run the races over here. You know, thin dirt tracks. Speed. It would have been nice, but this horse, I really want to throw out the race, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna throw it out, BIGRAGOO. I'm gonna take a risk at some point. Only 4 horses can place. You really can't really count on the rest, and I think I might throw Improbable out.
I don't know if you see the pictures on my wall up there. The horse right up there on the top. That's his grandfather on the dam side. AP Indy's father, Seattle Slew.
Seattle Slew.
That's one of my favorite. That is my favorite horse of all time. Even though I got that big old poster Secretariat signed to my wife.
Now Seattle Slew was a bigger horse too, right?
Huh?
Seattle Slew was a bigger built horse. He wasn't very thin, was he?
Red, yeah. Seattle Slew was something else for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he might be in the.
Oh, you talking about Seattle Slew? No, Seattle Slew wasn't a real big horse. Not really.
Now Secretariat was a bigger horse.
Yeah, Secretary was a monster, but Seattle Slew wasn't as big as. He was just a quick. He had a nice stride. He wasn't a big imposing horse. He just had that fire in him. He had a big heart. Like so did Secretary, but Seattle Slew had a lot of very competitive. He didn't want to ever get past. So.
Yeah, definitely a place horse.
Yeah, I mean he's a nice horse, no question about it. I mean, like you talk about the money, Windstar Farms and China Horse Club. I mean that's probably 2 of the bigger powerhouses race. Anytime I got a friend of mine, every time he sees any Windstar Farm, China Horse Club, especially China Horse Club, he bets them all the time just based on that. So they're buying quality animals. Their programs top notch, and then that's the same connections that had Justify. China Horse Club and Windstar. That's your deal.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna wrap it up for this website right here. I liked it overall. A lot of information. I couldn't really get too far into speed, class, weight, and a couple other things on some of this information. But for betting purposes, this is a pretty nice website to use. I'm going to move over to DRF, something I might pick up when I'm at the racetrack, but I don't think I've ever been on this website for capping. So you're going to have to guide me through this. Where do we go on this website, BIGRAGOO? That's why they do reviews like this, so you can have some help. Where's the first place I go to get to the Preakness races on this one?
Let me point out one thing on that other website real quick, HORSERACING.com, and all the content for viewing is free over there. Just keep that in mind. The DRF is a totally different look. Now, everybody in the horse racing is familiar with DRF because, you look at the racing form. They're the ones who publish the racing form. So they're the ones who get all the data, all the stats from years gone by, all the jock information, the standings. A lot of the other sites do this, but these guys are like the big kid on the block when it comes to horse racing. They're the premier site. They have all the stuff for sale. You can buy any kind of program you want. They even have software that you can use, incorporate, help you break down horses. But anyways, if you go to drf.com, you go to the main page, and you go right across the top of the page. You got news and infos.
Okay.
You got entries. Now, if you hit on the entries, that's kind of a nice.
You say entries? Hit on entries? I hit on entries.
Yeah, you hit
Yeah.
entries. Okay, see now you got featured tracks, right? Right in the middle there, you got the dates across the top. You got tomorrow, you got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So you can go like five. I think you can go further than 5 days, but 5 days is a good. If you know about a race that's coming up, let's say 3 days from now, you can go right to that track and view the entries for that race. And what the entries are going to give you, if you click on, let's say you click on
So we're gonna go to
Pimlico tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So get your date. Yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna go down to Pimlico.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ghoster. We got Ghoster in the house with us, all the way
Oh, he's
from
there. Hey,
Bellevue
Mr. Ghoster.
or Bell Vegas. Bell Vegas. That's
All
what it
right.
is. Bell Vegas. Okay, so what race we
All
looking
right. So
for
now,
here?
all right, we'll look at the race one just so we make it simple. You have to go far down the page. So it tells you, gives you the race time, what is on, whether it's the dirt. Right away it says race one, post time, then dirt. Okay. Then you have tells you the distance, what the information is. What fillies and mares, 3 years old, claim and race, $27,000 purse, and then it tells you the type of wagers that are available in that race. So you can bet the daily double, you can bet exacta, trifecta, superfecta, pick threes. Okay, and it tells you what races they start. And then right there, it kind of gives you a little bit of info, not a lot. These are what they call entries. So it's not like you're looking at race history. This is just if you want to see what type of races it is. What I like to do with this is let's say I'm looking at a card at Belmont or Gulfstream or Churchill Downs, whatever, and I want to see what kind of races they're running today. I'll look at the race and say, oh man, ain't nothing but a bunch of damn glue factory horses running today, and I have no interest in none of the races. Or it says, you know what, this ninth race today looks pretty good. It's got my attention. I'm gonna go in there and look at it. There's a couple of Chad Brown trained horses running on the turf today. I've been following this horse for a while. Boom, I'm in. So you can kind of get a gauge for what kind of races are coming up. I mean, we all know about the derbies and we know about these races, big races. But for the guys that want to play the horses on a week-to-week basis, this is great information here because you can see the quality of the race and what the race is all about. So you got the race info, then you have analysis and picks. You see that right in
Yeah,
the middle
analysis
tab?
and
It's
picks.
in blue. Right. So now here's where they make their money. Okay. So now, yeah. So now, if you have to, if you want to, if you can view the entries for free on this site, but if you want to become a member, you can become a member for free also. But if you want to purchase stuff, you have to become a member. So what they do is they offer you a different variety of products to show you based on like when you buy the racing form. Okay, so you can have an electronic version of the racing
Uh-huh.
form online here, and then you can always print out, or you can leave it on your computer, or your iPad, whatever, and you can view it that way. And then they also have what they call tip sheets and stuff like that. But I'll show you that. That's something else there. So then you have so anyways, there's stuff you can buy there, analysis and picks. You know, you can pay for picks if you want. That's available too. So and that's it.
Okay,
That's
I'm
it on
gonna
that
scroll
page right
down right
there.
here to see what race is the Preakness in. 13.
13.
So I see at the top right here, you can
Yeah.
slide over. This is pretty cool.
Can you
Race
slide?
13. Here we go. The Preakness.
Oh, you found something?
Look at that
Oh,
money on that one.
yeah. Yeah, it's a big
So it has
purse.
news and updates right here. That looks kind of interesting. That's very important. Some of this information right here. Bourbonwar enters Preakness in Bowden by Derby result. Did I read that right? So right here,
What happened
can we
now?
click into the horses right here? No. But we can get a look at the jockey, the trainer, the horse. What's this hot stat over on the side? You know anything about that?
Yeah, hang on. Let me get in there. I just
Go
lost my
ahead, take your
page. I
time.
apologize, man. So, all right. Let's give you Santa Anita. Okay, so anyways, so what were you asking me about the hot stats? Yeah, so what that is, the hot stat, that's a pay item for them. And then basically it's like angles on certain, there's not one thing in particular. It could be multiple things. It could be one really good thing. It could be, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. It's anything that has to do with an angle on that horse that might favor him to maybe, let's say he does really well at that track, or he's, he's got some really good workouts, or he's a good trainer angle with the jockey. The past 2 weeks, the jockeys and the trainer have raced, let's say, 8 times and won 6 races. So there's something that's really, really important that a gambler or a horse player would like to know about that horse. So that's one of their products they sell too, a hot stat product, and then I think they have like a monthly membership, and then I think you can buy like an individual basis. But then they have a thing called a tip sheet also, where it kind of gives you like a little mini breakdown of angles and like their last 3 buyers. It's like on one sheet. You can see like the race history for the horses on each race. It gives you like each race individually, and they give you like little tidbits of info on each horse, and that's like I think that's like $1 or $2 for that little tip sheet there. So there's all kinds.
So what about this tab over here that says closer looks? Oh, that's a money-making thing again. Pay that $10 if you want a closer look. And if you're a serious capper, at that rate, $10 a month, whatever, that's not even bad. That's good, as a matter of fact.
I got an account with these guys. I'm going to log in just to see what the hell's going on.
But this is a pretty solid website right here. This reminds me of the racing forum that you would get when you went to the track, basically. The information, and this is another one of the things that I like, is it lists the weight of the horse. Or is that the weight of the jockey? That's the jockey weight. We need the horse weight.
Yeah.
But let's see if we can we can cap on the next one right here, which would be Owendale. Jimmy likes that horse a lot. What do you think about that one?
Yeah. Owendale is a nice horse. He ran a big race last one out. I mean, he had to he basically ran the Grade 3 Lexington, and he was kind of a bit of a price horse. That's the horse that came. He kept Another Twist of Fate out of the Derby, because Another Twist of Fate was the favorite going into that race, and he came out, and I think he paid like $26 to win, $28, something like that. He ran a big stretch run, coming out of the clouds. Just kind of ran the whole field down, started picking horses off one by one, and just a real impressive race last time out. Now, when he ran the Risen Star in Louisiana at the fairgrounds, not so much. He came in 8th by 10 lengths, and that was the race that warofwill won. He won that race. And when he ran the Lexington up Keeneland, he ran the big race, but not enough to get him in the Derby. But he got a ton of respect. But the race before the Risen Star, he won an allowance race at fairgrounds, and it was a $50,000 allowance race. Not a big race, but an average race on a Saturday, let's say. He won that race, and then they tried to get him in the Risen Star, didn't do too good, and then he ran this race. So, but the nice thing about this race here, his last race, he was coming off of a layoff. Remember, I was telling you, usually the first time out, you get ready. Then the second time you're going to step forward, hopefully, and then the third time it's even, it's supposed to be a bigger step for you. But this is his second race off a layoff, so he should even improve off of this race from his last effort. So if he ran a big effort, like I said, a little bit, even though it was a Grade 3, nice win for him. So a lot of talk about this horse. I know Jimmy's high on him, and a lot of sharps are out there talking about.
Yeah, I see. I don't see a lot. I had to jump back over to Horse Racing Nation because I wanted to look more into the breed on this one and some of the other information. there's not a
Yeah,
lot that really sticks out other than his track record right here. You know, he did
yeah.
some
Well,
good races. He's even had some good classes he's been a part of. But I don't know that this may be one. I mean, now that Jimmy's on him and some of the sharps are on him, you can't really throw him out of the exotics. I don't know about a win, but he's at a nice price, right?
yeah. Well, he's 10 to 1 morning line, grade 3. That's his first grade uh, against another twist of fate. That was not, like I say, not enough to put him in a derby, but you know what? It was a nice race for him, and they probably had him pointed to this race right after that race because of the fact that they knew he wasn't going to be a derby race. So they said, hey, a month from now we'll be running in Pimlico. We'll be pointed right at that race, and we'll have him ready to go. So right now, I mean, he's been training at Churchill Downs. He's got a bullet work at 5 furlongs, 59. And then he's got a breeze there at 102. And then he's got so he worked back in April. Let's see, he was working in April in Churchill, so they were kind of hoping that he would get into Churchill for some reason, but he didn't. But anyways, the horse has been working at Churchill Downs pretty good for the past month and a half. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens on that one. I mean, you can't really leave him out, but I'm not high on that horse as a horse in this race right here. Um, let's jump over and let me see. Well, let's do one more in this website. Let's look at Market King right here. When I looked at
Yeah.
Market King, I seen a few things. You know, it's a Lucas horse, but I don't know Lucas. I don't know. Maybe he's going through some personal stuff in his life. I don't see him as putting together a lot of effort this year.
Well, it depends on what's in his barn, and he always he always shows up for the Preakness one way or the other. He's always got a horse running. I mean, a couple of years ago he won with Oxbow, and then the year before that when Justify won, he had that Bravazzo, which was a nice horse.
Yeah,
That was a horse. He ran him to death. He says that horse is built to run, so he ran him in every race. It didn't matter. So kudos to him for getting the horse ready. But this year, not so much. I think he's, like you said, he's not. It's kind of like Pletcher this year. Pletcher, he had a 30 to 1 and a couple of 30 to 1 shots in the Derby. I mean, he usually has a couple horses that are up and running. But you know, it's there's 30,000 horses born every year, right? You're only 3-year-old one time in your life, so that's why these are all 3-year-olds. In case everybody doesn't know, but they only have one chance to run a derby. So out of 30,000 horses, only 20 are going to run. Those are pretty short odds, right?
yeah,
And you got to be lucky enough to have one in there. I mean, Bafford's there year after year. We know about that. And Pletcher. And then you hear the stories about the horses that get there. Like the winwinwins of the world, and the Bird had a chance to get there, but he didn't get there. But Codovana got there with McGay. So they don't get to the Derby year after year. Certain ones do, and the majority don't. So with this Market King here with D. Wayne Luke, I don't think he's got a prayer in hell to even. He'd be lucky if he finishes the race.
yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and throw him out the race, but when you look at his breed, I had to go back to Horse Racing Nation. You look at his breed; he got a little AP, got a little Seattle Slew in him. Not a bad
Yeah.
horse, like not a well thought of, horse. Um, uh, not really bad outs. He's been in nice class. Like this is a nice horse. It's got to be a reason why they're down on him to give him the 30-1. But then again,
Yeah.
it's also a reason why he's in the race. So I don't know. Maybe distance is a thing. It looks like he was a lot better. Well, he's good at this distance though. Oh no, we're going 316. So
Yeah. He's a more of a mile. His breeding suggests a mile. He's into mischief. Into mischief is a nice miler for breeding for mile. He's kind of like City Zip, same type of horse. For distance wise. I mean, they paid $550,000 for him, so they paid a shitload of money. Yeah, they paid a lot of money.
BIGRAGOO, I had to do a little emergency.
Yeah, man, no problem.
I
I'm just
disappeared
saying
on you, but I'm back.
for those listening, they paid 550,000 for him in the Keeneland sale, September sale. So that's a big nut. So I guess they want to take a shot with him because they paid all that money.
Oh, we got my man Ray Williams in the house.
All right, Ray's here.
What's
Good
up, Ray?
job, Ray.
You coming out to the Los Alamitos? Go ahead, pop up on us again. But I don't know. If I had to take a long shot, this is definitely probably be one of the ones you take. Um,
He's going to
Overall,
be involved with the pace a little bit, I think, because they're going to probably they don't have a choice but to send this horse. He's a speed horse, even though all his stuff doesn't show at every race. He's that's like they say into mischiefs. They're like good miler, good speed horses, like Golden Sense.
yeah,
Um,
I would say he's
the
either gonna
mischief.
win or flop. If a
Yeah.
freak of a nature, he show up
Yeah.
and he wins. If he's just there for the ride, then he comes eighth, ninth, or something.
He needs a rocket in his ass to get there. That's about what's gonna.
But that's it right here for the Daily Racing Forum. More information. This is more of a website for people that play all over the different parks and stuff. Really got everything at your hand right here as far as the cards and all that kind of stuff. I would have to go into it a little more to see what kind of info and news and stuff. And then, like you said, a lot of the stuff you have to pay for to go a little further. So I don't know. When I decide to go to the racetrack, I get a daily racing forum anyway. So maybe I could look it online. I don't know what the difference is, but let's go over to bloodhorse.com. I think I came to this one long time ago. They're far from where they were. Yeah, Ray Williams got a question for me. Ray, we're gonna be there from 2 o'clock, probably to the end of the race. The race goes off at I think 3:50 or something like that. So we'll be there from 2 o'clock until the race goes off. So I'm over here on Blood Horse, BIGRAGOO. Where do I go on this one?
All right, now this is more like what I call an information, not necessarily a handicap, but like the behind the scenes, like the news, the newsworthy information. That's kind of like all the big money, but the people in the industry, the people that are in the horse game, they this is like their place to go for like news about trainers, horses, anything that's going on in breeding. You can get all kinds of stats here. As a matter of fact, if you want to get your bloodlines, this is where you go. That's the name of the blood horse. So guys that want to see like who the top turf horses are. So what we do here, let's go to let's go up here. Let's go to stallions and breeding. Okay?
Stallions and breedings. Yeah, there's a drop down there. Where we gonna go? Pedigree Anaglis?
We're gonna go to sires first crop. See sire list.
All sires first crop.
Click that.
Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna take a look at
There
that.
you go. Now, leading sires for 2019. Equality Road. He stands at 150,000 at Lane's End. What that means is if you want some of that horse's good shit, you got to pay 150K to mate your broodmare to him. So you want to bring your filly over to stand up to him, cost you 150,000.
I must be on the wrong list. The first one on this one is Kozan.
Okay, hang on. Go back to All Sires First Crop. Did you hit that one up top? Stallions and breeding.
All sires.
And then
The first one is Quality Road.
That's right. That's
yeah,
what I'm
we
talking
on the
about.
same one. Okay.
Okay. All right. So now what that tells you is he's got the reason he's number one. If you slide across, there's his stud fees, 150,000, and there's his runners. He's got 149 runners this year, and he's got 51 winners. Okay. And then his chief earner, his top earner horse, is City of Light. That horse has earned in 19. He's earned $7,870,000. And then if you go down to number two, it's Tappet. Tappet gets 225,000. He's got 199 runners, 66 winners, 13 repeat winners, and then it goes to the graded stake winners. So you got You got stake winners. You got graded stake winners 6, and his #1 earner is Tacitus, 910,000. So Tacitus won the Tampa Bay Derby, and I think he came what second? No, he won the Tampa Bay Derby and he won the Wood Memorial. So he's got 2 W's there. But anyways, and I was telling you about Into Mischief, right? Into Mischief's a nice breeder. You know, he's got 200. He's got a ton of runners, 237 runners, 85 winners. And if you want to see who the winners are, I think you can't click that on. You got to go back a little bit. But anyways, this is more like for the breeding side. So like, let's say you want to go to sires, more sires. You click down, and then you can go by region. Like you can go to California if you want to see the top breeders in California. So if you're at Del Mar, you're at Santa Anita, you can see who the top sires are. So when you're looking in your racing form, such and such, he's the best breeder in California.
Okay. I see over here. You can even do international too, BIGRAGOO?
International, yep.
Wow.
And you can go by year too, 2018, 2019.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah. So it gives you year to year, and there's a lot of good info there. Hey, I gotta get up for 1 minute.
Go
I gotta
ahead.
plug this thing in before it dies.
Hey, shout out to my guy
back.
Paco in the building, man. What's up, Paco? This is a nice website right here, man. Bloodhorse.com. Let's see, they got the daily news over here. Let's see if they got anything special on the Preakness. They got something with improbable. Let's take a. Oh, they got old Bob right there. That's pretty cool. Let's see what they got in the Triple Crown. Derby prep races, contenders, racing. They got the results. Maybe we can see something right here. Derby contenders. Oh, here we go. Let's go down to Preakness Stakes. Gives you the information. A lot of times, some people trying to find the race time and the race. Tells you right here, race 13 at Pimlico, May 18, 2019. Oh, you can go into the horses a little bit here. Let's take a look at them over here with the next course coming up, which is going to be Alwaysmining. So we can go over here to Alwaysmining. We can click on that. See what it comes up. Gives us a nice picture. A nice picture of the horse always helps. Sometimes I don't like gray horses, or I'll take the gray horses because the gray horses always beat me. So now I take the gray horses when I see the gray horses. But it's nice that they give a picture right there of it. It looks like a little slideshow too.
I'm sorry I missed you.
Oh, it's all good. I've been going around this website. I done found some more information here on Bloodline. They got some nice photos of the horse. That's a really nice picture of Alwaysmining right there. There's a date right here too. So that's a recent picture right there. They got the wraps on there, no blinkers. A lot of stuff to say, in a picture. Picture speaks 1,000 words. So that's always good to get a nice picture of the horse. Remember, BIGRAGOO, if we wouldn't have been sitting around on that Dubai race waiting to see the actual horse before we bet it, we would have won because we had the winners already. But when we seen those horses, they look so crazy.
Listen, we were there with your dad, and I told your dad. Remember, and your dad would say, when I gave the rider the information, he keyed the wrong horse in the wrong position, and he put Gronkowski like in third instead of first, and then the friggin' trifecta paid $2,400. Remember, we were right there.
Yeah.
I had it for $2. I wanted to kill him. It cost $4,800 for friggin'. I bet $48 on the race too. I bet $24 box. What are you gonna do? I had all 4 numbers on the ticket, couldn't cash a goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's when you know you're gonna lose the rest of the day. If you ever listen, guys, if you ever bet a horse and you don't get your bet in, and the fucking thing wins, it's a guaranteed losing day for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this website gives a little bit of the breed right here. Little highlights right here, pretty good. I like this one. We're looking over always mining right now. What you think about always mining?
Always mining, yeah. That's the local horse, right? That's the horse that Maryland horse that's won like
Uh
six
huh.
in a row, like maximum security did. Talk. A lot of guys like this horse. The jockey now, I know the jockey pretty good because he rides down in Tampa. Daniel
Uh
Setton.
huh.
He's one. He's like usually the top jockey in Tampa Bay Downs, or one of the top jockeys usually, and they move back and forth because they're not running in Tampa now. So they're, I mean they are, but some of the better jockeys might come up to Pimlico for a little bit to run up there because the bigger season in Florida is down in the spring early. But anyways, yeah, always mining. I mean, what can you say about him? The horse has won 6 in a row. He won by 11 lengths, 6 3/4 lengths. He ran some nice not graded stake races, big stake races, 125,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. So he's won 5 races, 100,000 or better. And the horse is running lights out right now. So, I mean, you'd be crazy not to use this horse in some way or fashion. Now, you can call me crazy because the picks I gave today, I was like on the 1, the 8, and the 13, so I didn't even use them. But the only reason I didn't use them because I like the horses that I like. I know they're a little bit classier horse. When I say classy, somebody made a comment, and they said he drinks with his hoof up. But I said, with classes, like they run the tougher races and they got a little bit better breeding per se. Now he's at a state thirsty, which is a nice burning eating horse. So he's got on the male side, he's got a lot of nice blood in him. I'm not sure what would it be in that niece. I'm not sure about that. But Ruby Kelly's a local trainer there. Who knows, man? He's 3 for 3 this year. I mean, it's kind of like maximum security. You got to bet him until he loses, right?
Yep.
If you're gonna take a shot, I mean, 8-1, you can throw him in the mix.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
And I seen earlier when Gogi was in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but Gogi said something about he says always mining reminds him of maximum security. But
Oh yeah, that's a good look there for sure.
Since you got us on this little horse racing freaky fresh porn site right here that's telling us about where all the expensive sex is going, I noticed right here on this one, it also tells you that this always mining is a 3-year-old gelding. You want to tell these people what a gelding is?
Yeah, sure. A gelding is the guy that lost his balls somewhere along the line. So he's not going to show up on that website one day.
But
because he's just going to be.
But so
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people, when it comes down to geldings, they have different thoughts. Until who was it? When Funny Side won, people said, "Whoa," because when you have to cut the horse's balls off, they do it for a reason. A lot of them can become good racehorses after that happen, but the downside of it is you don't got nothing to sell, nothing after this horse runs his race. So really, when you look at it, and I don't know, this may be a reason why I might lean this horse. They're making all the money they can make off the horse because it's not going to be too much after money on this one. So they're trying to win every race. They're trying to get in there and get that money. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on.
They're doing a good job with this horse. I mean, and that's a female trainer, so no female trainer has ever won the Preakness. So that would be a great story in itself, wouldn't it? If this horse won, the local horse with a first-time female trainer winning the Preakness, that's a feel-good story. That horse racing needs that right now.
Yeah,
especially after
definitely one. I mean, even at an 8-1, you put a nice amount of money on that one, you're gonna get paid something nice. I hope everybody doesn't jump all over it and drown the money out of it. And just a small note on this horse right here, I have 3 numbers that 3 numbers always are key to me in horse racing. Probably because from where I was raised up with my dad, he'd say, "Give me a number, son," and I would always give him the same number for so long. And if he won, he'd give me some money. And then I switched my numbers on him. So 7 and 4 are 2 of my numbers that I use a lot of times. And My wife's favorite number is 8. So now that I'm married, I gotta throw the 8 in there too. I hate to get home and be
Yeah.
like the stupid 8 beat me, and that's my wife's number. And especially if it was worth good money. And this 7 right here, even though it may come in, that number is probably gonna go down, maybe 5-1. What you think? 5-1. But even at 5-1
No,
in a big race, it'd be a nice payday.
it's gonna go up. His number's going up tomorrow.
You think it's gonna go up?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. My bad. No, his number, he'll probably be around there. Probably like between 6 and 9-1, somewhere bouncing there.
Yeah.
He might take a little bit of money because you got to realize something too. I mean, even though we're betting into the national pool, I mean, a good portion of money is going to come at the track too. A lot of big hitters are going to be there. So, and he's a local horse, so he's going to take some money just for that reason. And plus, his record speaks for itself too. So, I mean, he hasn't stepped up to the bigger races, but he's a nice. I mean, you can't argue any horse that wins by 11 lengths in a 125K race. You got
yeah, that's a wow factor right there. And my man Ghoster, he says 4-7. That's it, brother. I'm definitely took a screenshot of that, and I'm gonna make sure I try to remember after all these bets I put in to put that in, because I would hate for the show to end and we said 4-7 right here on the show in writing and we didn't play it. But shout out to Ghoster, like in the 4 and the 7. That's who always mining and improbable. It probably comes 7-4, Ghoster, but that's a nice one. Exact box 4-7. Shoot, book it. Now let's take a look at Signalman. What you think about Signalman?
You asking me what I think about him? Here's what I think about him. I like the shit out of this horse. Even though he hasn't won a race this year, I just like the way that this race sets up for him, because when he was a 2-year-old and he ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race against Game Winner, he came third in that race, okay? And then he came back out the next time out at Churchill Downs after that, and he won a grade 2, the Kentucky Juvenile Cup. He won that grade 2 race. He won a 95 buyer. So he had 2 nice races as a juvenile. He won. He came third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and then his next time out he won. So now we talk about the layoffs, right? We talk about layoffs. His first race is a 3-year-old, okay? He came in 7th, so you can't expect much out off of the layoffs. Remember I was telling you about trainers? And McPeak, he's not one to push his horses after the layoff right out of the gate. But he is good at, what McPeak is really good at, is firing long shots in big races. It's a big race. It's a big long shot. And he ran a pretty good race in the Bluegrass. He came third behind Winwinwin and Tacoma. And even though the Bluegrass, in that particular race too, that race was really, really fast. The pace was really fast. The track was fast that day. And he's not a dead closer. He's more off the pace runner. And that was his second time out. So he stepped up and improved in that race. So after the first race, the second race out, he got a little bit better. And boom, this is the third race out. And this is when horses like to fire. And I think he's sitting on a big race. That's just me.
Definitely a factor in the race. At 30-1, sign me up.
I think he.
So definitely not one to throw out, and definitely one to put in your winner spots for the long shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you definitely got to use them. I'm using them. I'm going to use them in exact practice, and that's one of the plays I gave out on the show today. I gave out the 8. I'm going to put win money. I'm going to play 2 horses and win in this race. So I'll give you my last horse before we get to it. But that going on the 8, and I'm using them in exact.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit, Big Ragu. I know we've been on for a while. We're going to get to the picks. I wanted to make sure we go through each horse. We do this one time. The race is tomorrow. I just jumped back over to Horse Racing Nation so y'all can see exactly what Big Ragu was talking about in this horse performance. Worst performance right here was 7th place in the Fountain of Youth, but he lost to some really good horses right there. The class is up. Yeah, this horse. I hope the money doesn't go. And one thing I seen too right here, Ragu, and I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not all the way there all the time, but one of the breeds right here is Summer Sweetheart. Is that kin of Summer Wind?
Who's that now?
Summer Sweetheart.
Where's that? I'm not looking at what you're looking at.
That's the breed on this horse right here. Signalman.
Yeah. What is
Summer Sweetheart? Is that a part of Summer Wind's breed?
I have to go back.
You know where you can find that out? If you go back and you type in Summer Sweetheart under the Blood Horse, 9 generations.
Oh, okay.
Summer Sweetheart. I'll look for it.
That was just a little part of the breed. You know, I like to watch the breeds. The breeds can be really true, especially when you're looking at a long shot. You go do a little research in the breed. You find out they related to some good blood. And you can get a good winner out of that. I like that right there, though, BIGRAGOO. Let's jump on to the next one. Before I switch over to Brisnet, this is the last one I'm gonna do on Blood Horse. This is
Body Express.
Body Express. Now, Body Express was really impressive setting that pace in the Kentucky Derby, and my man Jimmy was right on target with the pace in that. Like he called it to a T on the pace in that one, and Bodie did what he was expected to do. I thought it was going to go wire to wire for a minute, but the field was too big.
He backed up. I mean, he got out early, and then got on the first call. I think he was like in third place. When they came up the backstretch, he was sitting about 14th. So, and that was pretty much it for him. You know, he did get involved with the pace early, but I mean, the Derby, everybody's jogging for position. So, and I think he ran at what post was he in? He was way on the outside too. So, yeah, so he had to use up some ground to get him there. That's why he petered out up the backstretch a little bit. He had to use them up early to get out there. So that was no fault of his own. It was just he had to do that to do what he had to do.
Where do you see him falling in this one?
Coming back off the short rest, and
let's see, he came off a layoff into the Derby, ran on the slop. So I haven't seen anything coming back from him.
He's a really beautiful horse. I'm taking a look at the pictures right here, and I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm saying he ran really good in the Kentucky Derby, and that was a muddy, nasty race on this clean, dry turf. But then again, the pace was kind of slow. But on this dry turf right here, he might be able to place.
Yeah. I mean, he's got John Velasquez on him, so I mean that's a big plus for him. And if you throw out the Derby, okay, if you take the Derby and you throw that race out, it's kind of hard to do. But when he ran in the Florida Derby, he ran against a slow pace, became second to Maximum Security, right? And then the race before that, he realized something too. This horse hasn't won a race in his life yet. I mean, so what I say he'd win probably in the Preakness, probably not. Well, he figure in what I would use him for, and you get a decent price. But I mean, but the thing was, he ran 7 furlongs, then he ran 1.8 miles, and he came second. Progressively got better each race up until the Derby, so he could be sitting. Also.
Yeah, I was saying he may be a distance horse in the long run anyway, but like you said, Preakness might not be his thing. He might, if he hangs around long enough for the Belmont, he might be something to work with in the Belmont.
I think he'd be more suited for this race because his father won this race a couple years back, Bodemeister.
Okay.
So. But I mean, if you throw the Derby out and he hasn't run all the class races, he never won. Here's the thing: he never won a race. That's what sticks in the back of my mind. He ran 4 maiden races before the Florida Derby. They entered him in the Florida Derby, and then the race before that he came second by a neck. So whatever he was doing, progressing up to the Florida Derby, I mean, it's kind of like. It's the reverse. It's the reverse of the other horse. What was the other horse we was talking about? Always mining. That horse has won everything thrown at him. This horse has not won anything
Yeah, I
thrown
see
at
a
him.
very good breed on this one too. I
Um,
see Empire Maker in there. I was on the other website. I seen some more good ones in there.
yeah, City Zip's a great breed. No, like I say, he's a good a miler horse. You know, not the classic distance, but City Zip on the dam side is nice, and Empire Maker and Bodie Mice is really nice on the other side. So I don't know if he wants. That's the other thing. Maybe he doesn't want the longer distance. I mean, it's hard to tell. He's got 2 races. One at 7 furlongs came second. One at a mile and 8 came second. So 98, 97 speed. It's not too bad. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. And you're getting decent odds when you get Johnny Velasquez. So that's where you got to look at it. The only knock on him, he hasn't won a race. Everything else, pretty nice horse overall.
Now let's move on to brisnet.com. Now Brisnet is a name that I've heard in the sports racing for a long time. Not something I never really indulged
Yeah.
into. Walk me around this site a little bit. Where do I go on this one?
Okay, what I do at Brisnet, you go to the main page. Now what I do here is I buy their PPs. They're called PPs. You know, like just like the DRF PPs. This is their version of PP. So if you want, you can go. Now it's a pay site because there's not a lot of free stuff, but you can get some of the entries, kind of like you can with the. It's a competitor for DRF, but they're more driven towards the race data, not so much the selling the picks and stuff like that. But they're mainly they do sell some picks, but they have a lot of data. They're a heavily data driven site, so and they have news too. They've got some decent news articles, and it's based out of Kentucky, and Twin Spires kind of sponsor them. So that's like Twin Spires versions of the DRF. And Twin Spires you can bet on there too, just like you can on DRF. But I like their PPs because they have a lot of, they give you what they call track bias. So if you want to know what the track bias is, it's basically information on what's going on with the races. Like if they're running, let's say, a mile on the dirt, they'll give you like whether closers are doing better, whether front runners are doing better. It gives like a point system so you can analyze that data, and then it'll give you like post positions, how they're doing on the track, you know, for that week or that month. So there's a lot of information you can get on their PPs, and then if you click on the PPs tab, now you see how
all the way
you click
down
that
that
on.
way.
Okay, so now it says PPs, and you got Brisnet PPs, and it tells you ultimate past performance with comments. So what that does is it tells you the PPs, and it gives you like a race rating, like the pace rating. So I can tell you like the first call be like say call be 88, and the final call be say 97, and then it'll say overall speed 98. So you can compare your horses and see how they match up for each call of the race, whether it's going to be a late runner, a middle runner, and then the average speed. So it's a good little tool so you can see how your horse compares to what they think is going to win the race, you know, how the race should shape up to win. So that's kind of like a pace setting thing that they use. And then they have the class, which, you know, they have a 3-digit number based on class of the horse. So it rates it top to bottom. Like if you got 8 horses, it'll give you the first rated, second rated. So you take all that information and you kind of put it in your own perspective, and that's how you can cap the race. And it gives you a lot of the same info, if not more, than what they give you on DRF. And then they have comments, like it'll tell you, you know, this trainer is like a 60% trainer within, you know, after winning, you know, his last race, coming back, or, you know, it'll tell you like this horse comes, the trainer's like in the money percentage is 45%. And it tells you the trainer with the jockey. It tells you, you know, how the horse does at the track. You know, it gives you a good and a bad. So the comments where it says past performance with comments, it'll give you a little synopsis on each horse, good and bad, or sometimes nothing at all, depending if there's nothing good or bad to say about the horse, they won't say it. So I really like it. Matter of fact, maybe I'll email you my. I have one of these. I'm gonna send it to you once I get done tonight. I already got this for my card tomorrow. I'm using this.
Oh, that's what's
I
up.
use
So,
that.
so what else information can we get off of this website? They have entries.
Yeah, there are entries. You know, they got news. You know, news articles.
Okay, news.
Yeah, so it says get to know the contenders of the Preakness.
It says get to know the
okay.
contenders of the Preakness on the very first page right there.
Stuff that's going on.
You can read through that. Then it tells you all the stuff that's going on. So that was the race that went today. So they give you an update on what happened today, and then some basic information on some of the races coming up. Then the entries, same thing as DRF more or less. You go down there, you get instant entries for free. You get program style entries for free. And it tells you what it gives you: conditions, wager type, handicapping.
Yeah, I'm just going through them slowly. I see they have picks over here. You can buy data files, results. What about the pedigrees? That's something you can buy as well. Yeah. Connect on Twitter for the pedigrees. And they got some easy plans for you to join.
I remember. I like their stuff. I really do. Bob Baffert likes them too.
That's right. Are these something you can program you can buy at the actual track, or it's just online?
It just depends. Now, where I go here locally, they give these out, not give them out, but they sell them for like $1 a program. But now the ones I get over here at the track, they're very limited. So they give you like real basic information. The one for $1, the one for $3, the one I use. There's a shitload of information there. It's good stuff. I mean, it gives you the track bias. It gives you the footnotes on the trainers and the jockeys. It gives you like a lot of the percentages, how they do together. Like I say, hot jockey, the last hot trainer jockey combo, the last 2 weeks at the track. It just gives you a lot of good info, a lot of comments and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. So you heard it first right here. Who Bangin Sports. We went through Brisnet as well. My man BIGRAGOO has unleashed all his tools out here for free to all our viewers. We really appreciate that. We appreciate y'all showing up. It's all love right here. My man Ghoster had to leave. Said we having a great breakdown here. I feel we having a great breakdown. I'm having a great time right now. Really learning something. Got plenty of time before the race tomorrow. So I'm not all the way. I'm gonna tell you a secret, BIGRAGOO. I haven't watched a video on the Low Bag Show. I missed it on purpose because I didn't want to go bias into I didn't want to reveal your picks while we had this show right here. I wanted to just kind of go through the card authentically before we go to the picks. Yeah. But we got a few horses left right here. Everfast.
Yeah, Everfast a toss.
This is your toss horse?
But
this is this Everfast guy though. He hasn't placed in a long time, but he has ran against some decent horses though.
Yeah, it's crazy now. I when they told me he's a toss, I didn't look at him real hard, but now I'm looking at it. He's ran some bang up races. He's got a grade 2, he's got grade 3, he's got grade 2, grade 3, grade 1, grade 3. He hasn't finished. He's finished in the money a couple times. 128 to 1 came second. Wow. At Gulfstream, holy bull, that's the only thing he's really ran.
Yeah.
And then he's got $106. He's going off as some major odds. I mean, here's the thing. It's out of Calumet Farms. That's a big farm in Kentucky. It's got Joe Rosario on him. Rosario's no slouch, right?
Yeah.
I think he's definitely going to be outclassed in the second.
His past performance. If you ever want to go back and look at a past performance, this tells the whole story.
Past performance. If you ever want to go,
got out of the money finishes, got some in the money finishes.
He's
ran all grades.
The money finishes. You got the money finishes. He's ran all.
He's got 2, 6, 8.
He's got like. He's probably the most experienced horse.
Yeah, he's got a lot of races under his belt.
He's ran 6 races this year, and he ran 5. He's ran 5 races as a 2-year-old and 6, so he's got 11 races. And you look at horses nowadays, when they're hitting into the Preakness as 3-year-olds, they're lucky if they got 5 races in them, 5-6 races.
And he's raced amongst nothing but the best. He's went up against bourbonwar twice, Tacoma, Code of Honor. He's been in some good spots. Like he knows all about the royal treatment. He's been to a couple college bowl games before.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yep. I mean, he's at APND, Take Charge Indy, which is
no doubt. It's a nice breed there. Awesome again. Good California bred. What do you call it? Go line there. So he's got some good bloodline. He just probably never developed into what they only paid $47,000 in the key. So I mean, still he's earned 132.
I don't know. I gotta throw at least 2 horses out. Maybe I really gotta throw 3 horses out, and organize the rest to give myself a good shot on my exotics. I'm still not all the way. I'm not all the way solid on who I want to take, but for one of my favorite long shots is this next one, Laughing Fox. I noticed this guy right here. He's made of some tough stuff. Dixie Union, Stormcat, Gone West. A lot of good things on this guy right here. Now, his trainer Steven. It's cool. It looks like he's privately owned, which is a good and bad thing, and that means they're definitely trying to get this horse in there. Now, when you go into this horse's last races right here, the problem with this horse really is, I want to say, hasn't really raced enough. But after looking right here, I mean, he got a G1, a G2. He got a first at the Oakland Invitational, but he's been up there with Omaha Beach, Improbable, Country House, Game Winner, Market King. He's ran with some good horses. Just a lot of good things coming out of, like, I say at this point, you want to take a horse that's moving forward, not backwards. And this guy, he ran his 7th, he ran his 4th, but he got some firsts in there. Might have a good chance with a good breed. Let me see what's the jockey on this one.
That guy,
he gets Ricardo Santana with Steve Asmussen, so that's a dangerous combo.
Oh yeah,
as far as
you can't.
Steve Asmussen's been a hot trainer too, right?
Yeah, I can see Santana running on through. Santana, because Santana, pretty good jockey. Excuse me, but I really like Laughing Fox. Where you got Laughing Fox in your mix at?
I had in my short and exactas, but he's definitely going to be figured on my trifecta monies tomorrow. I got some tries. I'll give you some numbers I got for tries before we get out of here. But I'm using him in try. He's a dead shot closer, this horse here. So he's going to need a lot of help up front to get to the end pace. He's going to need like 45. 40, low 46s, 45.
Yeah.
20, 23, 22, and a half, somewhere to see that part. But if they pick it up the back stretches where I think they're going to do it, if we start looking at, low 46s, high 45s.
Yeah, I think I'm going to drop something on this one to win, just because that's the one that really first caught my eye and all that. I hope I get some good odds on that one. But that's a real low-key good horse. Not as low-key as Signalman, though. Signalman is real low-key, but I also like the post position on Laughing Fox. He's sitting towards the outside, right next to Another Twist of Faith, not too far from bodexpress. If the pace does jump high, he may jump out there with him. And all you got to do is scare a horse once they get out there, and they'll keep running like it ain't no tomorrow. But definitely liking Laughing Fox. Now, what do you think about Another Twist of Fate?
That's the horse that I was. That's the horse that Owendale beat.
That's the horse that I was. That's the horse at Owendale Derby. I mean the Lexington race, the Grade 3 race. He needed to win that race to get in the Derby, and he didn't get it done. So he's a horse from Golden Gate. He's a nice horse. The thing with him is he's ran all his races on artificial surface, and he stepped on dirt, decent races, but he came up short. So regression mode in my book, and he's going off at a real short price, 6-1. For me, I don't think I'm going to use him. He'll probably be involved in the pace, make up for some short. I guess his best efforts have been when he's gone wire to wire. So I got a feel, and being on the outside it is, they're going to have to use him to get involved early. So I think the 12 is going to be speed. The 3 is definitely going to be speed. I think Marketing is the toss sheet involved. I think the 6, the 4, the 12, and I think they're gonna and the 3, 4. No, hang on. The 3 war you're gonna have the 3. You're gonna have Owendale is gonna sit back. Marketing, so you're gonna have the 3, the 6, the 7, and the 12. Those are your speed horses. 3, 6, 7, 12 are gonna be the speed. Yeah, the local horse, always mining, is going to be the classier speed. Okay, 3, 6, and the other horse in the back, and then right behind that, you're going to have Warwill and Improbable. They're probably going to be the second group of horse. Then you're going to have maybe you're going to have I don't think he's going to make a quick run too. So, and then you're going to have Bourbon War, and you're going to have the 13 horse, and they're going to be your dead closers in that race. So they're looking for the hot pace. And if it shapes up that way, that's the only way. That's the only way that we're going to get Laughing Fox involved. But another twist of fate, he's going to be involved pretty quick because he's going to have to be on the outside. And past success, he's got to go to the front because he's running in a different class race too. On top of that, so he's going to be used up a little bit. I don't think he's going to even. He's finished no less than second his last 6 races, but he's ran an allowance race. I think he's in regression mode. I think he's stepping back a little bit. Each race he's gotten a little bit worse. The last 3. So even though he came first, second, and second, now he's stepping up in class 10, and I see him dropping back down a little bit.
Now this last one was one of my courses I was high on in the Derby. Win. You kind of like that horse too. I mean, it's a real thorough horse right here. Got a little Smarty Jones in the breed. What else is sticking out? Hat Trick is in there.
Yeah.
And then it's been doing good, took it out to 1.16 miles, got 3rd, 1.125 miles, and what was that? In the Bluegrass Stakes, got 2nd, but then came up 9th in the Kentucky Derby. But Kentucky Derby was a big catastrophe, like you said. You got to throw that out at some point. But yeah, I like win, but I don't think win can really get it done. I like him in the 3rd seat, not even the 2nd seat. Like from the race, I'll play the race right now too. Well, this is no, they don't got the Kentucky Derby race, but from the Kentucky Derby race, he didn't run a good race either.
Play the
bluegrass race right here.
Yeah.
This is a small field too, right here. Give you a good look. Is that him on the outside?
Watching the Derby.
This is the Tampa Bay Derby, yeah. Oh, he came third in this one. And this is a fast race right here. They moving.
Yeah, that 11 horse got out quick. That's the race I went to.
I think I see you back there, Big Ragu.
Yeah, I'm chasing a horse with my money. Remake that bastard.
Let's see who was in this race with him. Oh, okay. This is a Florida thing right here, huh?
Yeah. Outshine was another one I had, but yeah, that was the 11 horse. He got on the lead and went crazy. Track faster than even see when the race.
Yeah. This was a fast one too. He had some breath down there, but then he stopped. That was an exciting race.
Yeah, it was. It was a race. Now, that race, that was the first time that horse had ever ran longer than 7 furlongs. Win. That's a good race to look at. So basically, that was his first time out, first time at a long distance, first time off a layoff, and he ran a pretty solid race. And then he went to Keeneland the next race, and I said he's going to step up a little bit in this race. So I bet him in the Keeneland race also. I didn't bet him. I didn't play a lot of win money in that race. I went against the favorite. I went with Vacoma. So I had Signalman and I had winwin and exacta in that race. It came up a little short. Vacoma beat us. Castellano was up. But same type of thing there. He got a little bit better and came in second in that race. So I said, you know what? When the Derby comes, I'm going to use him. And he just didn't run. It was the jockey's fault because it was the third time out for him. And the jockey got to the quarter pole. By then it was too late. And he still moved in the Derby. If you watch him in the Derby, he was still on the move, but he never hit the board nowhere close. He came like 10th. But he didn't move him to the quarter pole. He should have moved him at the half pole, and he might have got involved a little bit more. But it was the jockey's fault. He just got him involved a little too late. And he might not have liked his first race in the slot. But I think this is another one of my horses that I picked. I like this horse here only because of the pace. I think I told him I like 2 horses. I got 2 scenarios. I said I never bet 2 horses to win, but I bet 2 horses to win so good. He's going off at 15, and the other horse I like is going off at 30. So I figured it this way. This horse here, if it's a hot pace up front, he's going to come off the pace big, along with maybe Laughing Fox. If they get hot and heavy up front, this is a lot to maybe run them down at the end of the race. Him, Bourbonwar, and what do you call your horse, Laughing Fox. Yeah. Right. Now, if they don't get a real hot pace, it's still going to be a decent pace. That's where Signalman I like, because Signalman's going to be in the pocket in the middle, and he can take the turn on the run. And then if he's sitting on a big race like I think he is, he can take off. He doesn't need the real big pace, but he just needs a decent pace in front of him. He can start picking horses off. So either way, I'm on the 13, I'm on the 8, and I'm on the 1, warofwill and the exacta.
That's what's up right there, Big Ragu. So that's your final picks right there. Like I said, I didn't get to watch the your video.
My picks,
but let's go over your final picks.
Okay, I'm gonna play $200 tomorrow. $200. I'm betting $70 to win on the 8. Signalman at 30 to 1, and I'm betting $70 to win on win at 15 to 1. So it's $1,000 if he wins. It's $2,000 if Signalman wins off $70. Not too bad, right?
Not too bad, man. I like that. So
Now I'm going to take that other, I got 140 invested, right? So now I'm going to take the other 60 I got left. I'm going to box 3 numbers. I'm going to put win-win-win because I think win-win-win is going to be one of those just off the front runners. Him, like I was telling you, my horse that I like, Signalman, probably Improbable, be there with him. So I think Improbable is going to flatten out, go down the stretch. I'm not using them, but win-win-win could probably keep going. I mean, not win-win-win. Warofwill could probably keep going, you know, and get a good rail trip. He'll figure in, and then maybe if the pace is really hot, maybe one of my 2 horses pass him up, or maybe all 3 get there, and I got 1, 2, 3, and I get 2 out of 3. I collect the money.
well, me so far, I'm gonna be still studying when we leave here. I look on this little app where it compares the speed and the class and the turf conditions and stuff. But I'm really high on warofwill. I really like
Yeah.
Laughing Fox. Um,
Yeah, good.
and I'm not gonna let Improbable go away without throwing him in the mix. I like your call with where is that one? Yeah. Singleman. I like your call with Singleman.
You better like that. That's your wife's
I
number.
know her. I'm comfortable with throwing Everfast out. I don't know about Owendale. I gotta drop something on Owendale or get him in the mix somehow. I also like Warrior's Charge. Like out of these pace setting horses that we talked about, the 3, the 6, Bodie, and also Another Twist of Fate. I gotta pack some money in on those pace setters. These are the kind of races where, a horse gets in a certain position, the other horse get behind them, and they can push them that extra little bit of the mile and 3/16 to get the win. So I'm going to be looking to cover those. I'm also going to be high on Laughing Fox. I'm going to cover Signalman as well. Hopefully Owendale goes off at a nice price. I can cover that one as well. But as far as my exactas or my try, I haven't really got it together yet. I'm probably not gonna do a box. I'm gonna do one of those,
Here's another one. I got my trifectas, right? I got some numbers in mind that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the numbers I gave you, but I got some other shooters in there, like the what do you call it, the 7, right? Always mining. The one I gotta use Improbable in there, with the trifectas and stuff. But I'm gonna play a 5 by 3 by 4. You know what that is? So it's easy. It's very easy math to figure out. Okay, so you're playing 5 numbers to win. You're playing 3 numbers in the middle, and you're playing 4. So no matter how you switch them up, so you take 5. You take a calculator. It's very easy to do. You take 5 times 3 times 4 is 60. Okay, so if you play for $1, it costs you 60. If you play for 50 cents, it costs you half, costs you 30. So you got 5 numbers with 3 numbers with 4 numbers. So I could switch them around. I could take the 5 numbers I like. Let's say I take 5. Let's say I take 5 mid packers. I put them on top. I'll take 3 front runners, put them here, and I'll take 4 closers, put them here. I can take the closers with the mid and move them around. You know what I mean? And hopefully one of each comes in each order, or you can stack them. You can take all the closers with the mid packers. Use 5 and 3 and 4 of them, or just depends how you think the race is going to play out.
5, 3, 4. I think I like 3, 4. I mean, either 3, 4, 5 or 4, 3, 4, 5, 3.
Yeah, but that'll cost you $30 if you play a 50-cent trifecta. You can get the best of both worlds. You get more numbers, and hopefully you catch the bomb price. Hopefully you get like Laughing Fox wins. Let's say Signalman comes second, and then let's say Twist of Fate comes third. So then you're looking at a nice trifecta.
I'm gonna definitely have to put one of those together out there at Los Alamitos, man.
But you can do many combinations you want. You just take the number of horses times each position, you add them up, and then if you got 4 across with 2 and 1, or let's say you got 3, 3, and 3, so 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. So you go 3, 3, 3, $27. and that's for $1. If you play a 50-cent try, it costs you $13.50.
There you go. You heard it right here first, man. Not only did we show you some sites that you can go find some information, not only did we go through the full card right here for the Preakness, not only did we give out some of our own picks of our own, not only did we take you to some places where you could purchase some extra stuff that you need, not only did we take you to the bloodline of the horse to watch the freaky connections of who's selling nut and when and where and why, but we also gave you this 3-5-4 formula that can make you billions. So we did it right here on Who Bangin Sports. Always a pleasure. I just looked at the clock, Big Ragu. We almost on the 2-hour mark. It's probably the longest show we ever did. It don't seem like it.
2 hours. We could talk for the rest of the night, but we got our wives to deal with.
Real,
when they done with this, right?
And also, I'm doing a little hip hop show tonight. I'm still waiting on my host. I might have to host it myself, but I'm doing a little hip hop show for the underground scene here in LA. If anybody's listening, it's gonna be thuggish, ruggish, all that. All you know, when I was a DJ, I was out there front line with all the youngsters, the OGs, and all that. It's all love to me. One of the most comfortable environments I find myself in, around sports bettors and rappers and thugs and stuff. But yeah, I got a lot of guys. I'm going to be showing some guys that I worked with in the past. I'm going to be showing their videos on YouTube. I'm going to just relax, have a good time, have me a couple cocktails. You always welcome to come in from Florida. We probably don't do it how y'all do it in Florida. We don't got too many dreadheads and all that stuff down here. But if you up, man, come on over there and join me.
I will. Just what do you go? Message me the link on my.
I'll have it up on Twitter and all the other stuff. I might do it on the Who Bangin channel. I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting for my host to get here to see if we could do it on his channel. But if not, I definitely something I just want to do. I know how to do. I put together this lovely setup we got today. Real comfortable. This was real sweet. Can't wait to go back and watch it. But thanks again, Big Ragu. We'll be keeping in touch. Football's around the corner. Have a good night. Tell the wife I said hi. Love y'all. We out of here.
Got it, man. Same here. Always a pleasure, my man. Anytime I'm right there for you, brother. So enjoyed it.
All right, we out of here.
Tuning in to Who Bangin Talk. Hey, do me a favor. Head on over to our YouTube page. Look for Who Bangin Sports Talk. And go ahead and give us a quick subscribe. And also, after you hit the subscribe, hit the little notification button. It'll let you know when we have our latest shows. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Enjoy the show.